Welcome to episode 3 of AAA or Ask Autocar Anything. Now, really, you've been sending us a lot of your queries, and we've got a lot of them over here to answer. What's fascinating is the mix of queries that there are. And in fact, we're going to start off straight at the one end of the market, which is someone buying an entry-level car as a first-time car buyer. And this is Kiran Krishna. His question is, hi Autocar team, I'm planning to buy my first car and I'm new to driving. I live in Chennai and will primarily use the car in city traffic on weekends, around 80% in city and highway. I've shortlisted the Maruti Suzuki Alto K10 automatic. What he wants is peppy performance, hassle-free ownership. So I think is a K10 really a perfect first car, or can he even go to something a little bigger and just a little bit, I would say, nicer to drive?
Yeah, so I think the very first car that comes to your mind when you're looking at a first car is usually a Maruti, and usually the entry-level Maruti, which is now an Alto K10. I think it's a very easy car to get used to, especially if you're a new driver. It's small, light, easy to drive. There's no stress of being sort of in a large car, finding parking.
Yeah, it's a very narrow car.
Very
also.
narrow car.
Altos are very narrow. It can just go anywhere. And as they say, Altos they're amazing. You see them in the Himalayas, you see them everywhere.
Actually, I mean, they've got their reputation as Lord Alto for a reason, because they're literally everywhere. But I think within the same budget, you've mentioned 7 lakh rupees. So you could think of a larger car within the Maruti umbrella, similar strengths. There is the Celerio. I think it's a very good option.
I think even Espresso, to be honest, slightly higher seating position. I mean, the looks are really weird, but I don't know whether you're fine with that. But I think that also gives you a little bit more confidence as a new driver when you have a slightly elevated driving position.
Yeah. And the AMT, good option to have, really gets away with the stress of modulating the clutch, which is one thing less to worry about, especially when you're a new driver. The AMT is good enough. It is not the best gearbox, but at this end of the budget, convenience counts for more than, the smoothness of the gearbox. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah, and either way, if you go for the Alto or Celerio, you're backed up by Maruti's widespread service network. So you have that peace of mind, that stress-free ownership experience. So you don't really have to worry about that, especially since it's your first car and you're new to driving. So I think you'll really enjoy having that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, Kiran, our recommendation, yeah, if you like the Alto, go ahead with it. But your budget allows you to get, let's say, a slightly better car, something like the Celerio also, which has been recommended, a little bit more space, feels a bit more stable. Even Espresso also kind of is a little bigger in that sense and gives you elevated driving position. So yeah, amongst these three, go ahead, take a test drive. I mean, our recommendation is Celerio would really fit your bill really perfectly as a hatchback, and it's even better than the Alto K10. And the fact is, Alto is because if you don't have a very high budget, but you do, and I think your budget allows you to take just one notch above, and that's what you should do.
So our next question comes from Varun. He says, I'm confused between the Skoda Kushaq 1.5 DSG and the Volkswagen Virtus 1.5 DSG. I personally prefer the Virtus for its sedan driving feel and enthusiast appeal, but the Kushaq seems more practical for long-term usage. My main concern is, will proper enthusiast sedans and 1.5 turbo petrol engines like those on the Virtus still exist 5 to 6 years from now? Or will the market fully shift towards SUVs, hybrids and EVs? And would it make more sense to buy a Kushaq now and possibly move to a sedan later, or buy the Virtus now and keep it long term before enthusiast sedans become rare?
Yeah. So I think, Varun, clearly you are a sedan guy. Just to give you some context, I think both the Virtus and its sister, the Slavia, what we hear is there's not going to be a replacement for them. These models will continue. There'll be heavy facelifts, but we see these models continuing at least for the next 5 to 6 years, up to 2032 for sure. So they aren't going anywhere soon, but the fact is that the focus will be more on SUVs. Now, I think if you like driving a sedan, obviously the low slung position, just the dynamics, frankly, I love sedans as well. Virtus is a choice for that. Kushaq also, I think, is just been again refreshed. It's got a more stronger air conditioning. The 1.5 has the same engine and transmission. The 1 liter comes with an 8-speed gearbox, but that's not the one you're looking for. I think even the current Virtus as it is right now, 1.5, fantastic driving machine, and obviously you enjoy driving and you want what a sedan offers you. So I think that's the one he should go for.
Yeah, I agree. I think if your heart is set on a sedan, no SUV is going to give you the same driving pleasure. The lower seating position, for many, just the look of a sedan, the 3-box shape, the classic shape, is what will make your car feel special even years down the line. And apart from that, it's a great car to drive. We've all had great fun in the Virtus and Slavia DSGs whenever we had them.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, even talking about practicality, you're not losing out on much. In fact, these sedans do have a bigger boot than
That's right,
the
they're bigger
SUVs.
boats, yeah. That's
And
right.
the ground clearance also, it's over 150, 180 mm. So you're fine over there also. It clears speed bumps with absolute ease. So yeah, the Virtus GT should be a great pick for you.
Absolutely. And I think, as you said, the ground clearance, we don't know the exact number, but it's really sufficient. It's almost SUV-like on the Virtus. And the ride is generally better because sedans typically have a softer ride because they sit lower. SUVs typically have to have a stiffer suspension because they are top heavy. So to control the body roll, you have to stiffen up the suspension. It's just physics. So again, even in terms of overall comfort, the Virtus will be better. So if you want to go ahead for it, go ahead for it right now. But do bear in mind, there are some facelifts being planned at the towards the end of the year. We don't know the exact dates, but they are coming. But they are going to be anything major. And the 1.5 7-speed is going to continue. That's going to be unchanged, and so you can go ahead with the current one and maybe even try and get a good deal in the bargain.
Okay, so now jumping into the luxury segment, we have T Tejas. Now he says he's planning to buy his first luxury car, preferably an SUV. We are a family of 4 adults and 1 child. My daily run is approximately 30 kilometers, mainly within the city, and then occasionally once a month a highway run. Total monthly running is around 1000 kilometers. My budget is between 50 to 60 lakhs. I'm currently confused between the BMW iX1 LWB, BYD Sealion, Toyota Fortuner, and the newly launched Tesla Model Y L. However, he has raised a concern about resale value for the Tesla 5 years down the line. I can also consider waiting for the upcoming BMW iX3 and Mercedes GLC EV. Will it be worth the wait of almost another 10 to 12 months? And if so, should I stretch my budget for these two?
So, as it stands, out of all these options that you've mentioned, we think the iX1 long wheelbase offers the best value for money here. It's 53, 54 lakhs. It has a very spacious cabin, smooth, refined powertrain, and of course, you get that BMW badge, which is worth a lot, especially since you're wanting a luxury SUV. And the BYD also delivers a very premium experience. You know, its interior is very high quality. It's very powerful. You get an all-wheel drive option as well. But then you have to keep in mind that BYD service centers and all won't be as widespread as the BMW. And of course, then again, it doesn't have the brand value as well.
Absolutely. And I think he's put a Fortuner here that I don't know where that came in from.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense at all. But I wouldn't rule out the Model YL.
Yeah, it's a very compelling
Because
package
it is
for what you get for the
it's
money.
fantastically priced. It's maybe about 8-9 lakhs more than the iX1, but it's a Tesla. There's a certain appeal about a Tesla. You have to like it. We call it the iPhone of let's say electric cars. It's got 3 rows, and of course the user friendliness of a Tesla, the way the the interfaces is absolutely fantastic and seamless. All-wheel drive, which you do get. So I think even the Model YL is quite a compelling proposition. He's said he's worried about resale value of Teslas, regarding import duties. Well, this car comes from China, so I don't think we're going to have any FTA with them. So I don't think we'll see any reduction in duties from that point of view. But overall, yeah, I think resale value can be an issue because just to say, recently a colleague of mine bought the existing Model Y at almost a 10 lakh rupee discount. So that is really going to hammer the resale of that car. But obviously, it's on the back of the introduction of the YL, which kind of really made the Model Y at its current price, not very attractive. So obviously, it kind of they were forced to give discounts. So yeah, I think Model YL is also
Yeah,
it's a good.
very good option. I mean, and the 3-row flexibility also matters.
That's
I
right.
mean, on the odd occasion, you do need to take an extra passenger, and all 6 passengers sit in pretty good comfort, I think.
And though inside it doesn't have that wow factor, the way a traditional luxury car does, but Teslas do bring a smile on your face, just the way they're so easy to kind of function.
Yeah. Hormazd, coming to the second part of his question now, you have seen the BMW iX3 and GLC EV when you were in Germany. Are they worth the wait?
Well, I think definitely both are worth the wait. I think this really the next generation, the next level of EVs, the way they come in terms of design, in terms of, let's say even the tech they have on board, phenomenally fast charging, and just really their, or let's say the infotainment systems are absolutely the latest generation. You've got Mercedes, which is the MB.OS. We've driven them in cars like the CLA. That's going to be come in the GLC EV as well, BMW as well. I mean, the dashboard is just completely unique. I mean, basically the dashboard is, let's say you've got, it runs as a strip just under the front windscreen. So really very cutting edge models, both of these. So if you can wait, do wait. Pricing also might be definitely more than the iX1 for sure. iX3 just by in hierarchy will be that much more. What's interesting is that the iX3 will come in a long wheelbase version. So I think that is important, so really worth looking out for. So if you can wait and you can stretch your budget, yes, wait for the iX3 and the GLC EV.
Okay, so the next question we have is from a reader called DWV, and he's clearly keen on a performance sedan. What he's asking is that he's considering buying an M340i, but he's heard from a few sources that the tire is prone to punctures or sidewall damage, given that it's such low profile tires. Could you please clarify whether it's a common issue in the real world Indian driving conditions, especially on highways and roads with occasional rough patches? Also, would switching to non-run flat tires or opting for a tire with a higher sidewall improve or reduce this problem?
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, this is a problem not only with the 340i, but any sports sedan, because typically you're running on low profile tires. Low profile tires mean your sidewall height is very, very low. Typically on Indian roads, you need a 100 sidewall height to really make sure that, it can take the impact of bad roads, potholes, and, all these things just crop up. So I think one option is, running on standard tires. They kind of improve the ride, but really I think the run flats also have tough sidewalls. So I think impact damage is something is very, very real in India. It's quite common. But I think the best way to kind of minimize that in our experience is to increase the tire pressure by at least 3 to 4 psi. Now that will kind of have an impact on your ride, but really it kind of gives you that extra rigidity of the sidewall. So when you do hit a pothole, the sidewall doesn't just suddenly compress down to the rim and you have a blowout. It does kind of give you some protection. This is what we've been doing for all our long distance drives in these sort of vehicles. But yeah, I think really with these cars, this is the risk you take. And again, there's no real solution by way of a full-size spare wheel that these cars come with either. So that kind of makes the problem even worse. So I think what a lot of people do is, if you don't need too much boot space, is to carry a space saver in the boot. And that's one kind of way to get peace of mind. But otherwise, we think the best fix is, yes, go to the standard tires, the non-run flats, but that's primarily for a softer ride. With that, increase the air pressure by about 3 to 4 psi if you are driving in fast on bad roads, and that should minimize the punctures.
So one thing to bring in that while this is something a lot of BMW M340i owners have experienced, it's also reported more, and I think it's known more throughout the performance enthusiast community because of how many people want to buy the M340i.
Yeah, the sheer population of
yeah.
M340Is is really, obviously, then the incidence, the probability is much higher of getting these issues. But I think it's generally the case with all performance sedans which run on low profile tires. Low profile tires, unfortunately, in India are an issue, but sporty cars only run on low profile tires. So really, we have to live with that. And with that, we will wrap up this episode of AAA. Again, keep sending us your questions. We'll be back same time next week to answer some of them. Thanks for watching.